The Forsaken. In the twilight reaches of the Perseus Arm, the planet Merida spun quietly around its amber star. Once, its floating islands had teemed with life, crystal gardens capturing starlight and transforming it into symphonies of color that danced across the lavender skies. The Meridae, with their opalescent skin and six-fingered hands, had created wonders that defied the conventional laws of physics. Their harmonic technology, machines powered by synchronized thought and song, had earned them a place among the galaxy's greatest artists. But now, the floating islands hung motionless. The crystal gardens had grown dim. The songs had faded to whispers. In the grand chambers of the Galactic Council, Ambassador Krex of the Vexari Dominion adjusted his ceremonial collar as he addressed the assembled representatives. His scaled skin reflected the harsh lighting as he gestured to the holographic displays. The situation on Merida has been thoroughly analyzed, he stated, voice cool and measured. The pathogen affecting the Meridae population has a projected mortality rate of 97%. Containment protocols are already in place. From the lower tiers, Ambassador Tella of the Ashari Collective raised a slender arm. And the cure? Surely with our combined medical knowledge. The cost-benefit analysis does not support intervention, Krex interrupted. The Meridae number fewer than 4 million. They possess no strategic resources. Their harmonic technology, while fascinating, has limited practical applications. The expense of developing a specialized cure exceeds their value to galactic stability. The chamber fell silent. Value calculations were the foundation of council policy, cold, efficient, and rarely questioned. The motion to maintain quarantine and non-intervention stands, announced the council chairperson, her voice echoing through the chamber. All in favor. Light panels illuminated across the chamber as representatives voted. The motion passed with an overwhelming majority. May the record show our regret, the chairperson added, a perfunctory gesture of respect. 300 light-years away, aboard the Earth expeditionary vessel Horizon, Commander Maya Santos stood on the bridge, staring at the distress signal playing on the main view screen. This is Elder Lisha of the Meridae Council. Our people are dying. The sickness came without warning, striking our youngest first. Our healers are powerless. We have petitioned the Galactic Council for aid, but The transmission faltered, static cutting through the melodic voice. If anyone can hear this, please, help us preserve what remains of our culture, our knowledge. We have so much to share with the universe. Maya turned to her communications officer. How old is this signal? Lieutenant Farouk checked his console. Based on decay patterns, approximately 6 months, Commander. We're the first vessel to pass within range since it was sent. And the source? The Merida system. It's not on our charted routes. Farouk hesitated. According to the database, it's under Galactic Council quarantine. Maya's jaw tightened. Humanity had only recently gained provisional membership in the Council, after centuries of being dismissed as too volatile, too unpredictable. They were still learning the politics, the unwritten rules. Violating the quarantine order could jeopardize everything Earth had worked for. Dr. Elena Cheng, the ship's chief medical officer, stepped forward. Commander, requesting permission to analyze the medical data attached to the transmission. Maya nodded, and the bridge fell silent as Dr. Cheng reviewed the information. After several minutes, her expression hardened. This doesn't look like any natural pathogen I've ever seen, she said quietly. The targeting is too specific, the progression too uniform. Commander, I believe this is engineered. The implications hung in the air like a thundercloud. Maya looked around at her crew, each face reflecting the same determination she felt building inside her. Plot a course to the Merida system, maximum speed, she ordered, and send a message to Earth Command. Tell them we've encountered a potential genocide situation and are responding under Humanitarian Protocol 7. Commander, Farouk said hesitantly, that protocol hasn't been recognized by the Council. Maya's eyes flashed. It's recognized by Earth. That's enough for me. The horizon dropped out of hyperspace 3 days later, the blue-green world of Merida filling the view screen. Scans revealed scattered life signs concentrated in what appeared to be underground shelters. No orbital defenses challenged their approach. The away team, Maya, Dr. Cheng, and a complement of medical personnel, descended in a shuttle equipped with comprehensive containment systems. They touched down on a small island that still floated, albeit barely a meter above the ground. Around them stood the remnants of a once magnificent city, its crystal towers now dull and lifeless. They were met by 3 Meridae, their opalescent skin mottled with dark patches that seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it. The tallest of them stepped forward, moving with obvious pain. "I am Elder Lisha," she said, her voice a shadow of the one from the transmission. You are not from the Council. What species are you?" Maya removed her helmet, a calculated risk based on Dr. Cheng's assessment that the pathogen specifically targeted Meridae physiology. "I'm Commander Maya Santos of Earth. We heard your message and came to help." Lisha's 4 eyes widened in surprise. "Earth, we know nothing of your world. The Council, they deemed us unworthy of salvation. Why would strangers risk themselves for us?" Maya looked at the dying city around them, then back to Lisha. "Because where we come from, worth isn't calculated in resources or strategic value. We help because we can, because we should." The Meridae led them to an underground complex carved from living crystal, where thousands of their people lay in various stages of the disease. Children huddled against parents, their natural luminescence fading. Yet even in their suffering, art surrounded them. Living sculptures that responded to emotions, walls that displayed the memories of those who touched them. Dr. Cheng immediately set up a field laboratory, while Maya established communications with the horizon. The ship's AI began processing the massive amount of medical data, comparing it against every known pathogen in Earth's databases. "It's definitely engineered," Dr. Cheng confirmed after her initial analysis. "This attacks the specific cellular structures that allow the Meridae to manipulate harmonic energy. It's not just killing them, it's destroying what makes them unique." "Can you develop a treatment?" Maya asked. "Given enough time, possibly. But we're talking about completely alien physiology. We need more resources, more expertise. Then we'll get them." Maya opened a channel to Earth Command, bypassing standard protocols. "This is Commander Santos requesting immediate humanitarian assistance. We have approximately 3 million individuals facing extinction from an engineered bioweapon. Transmitting all data now." The response came 18 hours later. Admiral Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet appeared on the view screen, his expression grave. "Commander Santos, your actions have created quite the diplomatic situation. The Galactic Council has formally protested your violation of quarantine." Maya held her breath, waiting for the recall order. Instead, Chen's stern expression softened slightly. "However, after reviewing your data, Earth has invoked the Sentient Protection Act of 2179. 3 medical vessels and a research team are already en route to your position. Hold the line, Commander. Help is coming." As news spread through the Meridae shelter, a remarkable transformation began. The people who had resigned themselves to extinction began to hope again. They shared their knowledge with the humans, their art, their harmonics, their unique perspective on the universe. In return, the humans shared their determination, their adaptability, their refusal to accept defeat. Dr. Cheng made the breakthrough on the 7th day, working alongside Meridae healers who, despite their illness, contributed crucial insights into their own physiology. "The pathogen targets the cellular resonance structures," she explained to Maya. "But we can use modified harmonic technology to create a counterfrequency, essentially teaching their cells to sing a different song that the pathogen can't adapt to." The first treatments began immediately. Children received priority, their more resilient bodies responding quickly to the therapy. For the first time in months, the natural luminescence of Meridae skin began to glow again. But as hope blossomed on the planet below, danger approached from above. The Horizon's sensors detected multiple vessels dropping out of hyperspace, warships bearing the insignia of the Vexari Dominion. Maya stood on the bridge of the Horizon, watching the tactical display as 5 Vexari warships took position around Merida. Each was twice the size of the Earth vessel, bristling with weapons designed to destroy planets, not merely ships. "They're hailing us, Commander," Farouk reported. Maya straightened her uniform. On screen, a Vexari commander appeared, his scaled face impassive. "Earth vessel, you are in violation of Galactic Council quarantine order. Withdraw immediately." "This is Commander Santos. We are conducting a humanitarian mission to treat victims of an engineered bioweapon. Our actions fall under the Sentient Protection Act. Earth laws have no standing here," the Vexari interrupted. "The Meridai situation has been evaluated by the Council. The decision is final." Maya leaned forward. "We've developed a treatment. The Meridai can be saved." "That is unfortunate." The Vexari's cold eyes revealed nothing, but Maya felt a chill run down her spine. "Nevertheless, you will withdraw within 1 standard hour, or we will remove you by force." The transmission ended. "They know," Maya said quietly. "They know it's engineered because they created it." Lieutenant Commander Reeves, her tactical officer, spoke up. "Commander, we can't win against 5 Vexari warships." "No," Maya agreed, "but we can make sure everyone knows what happened here." She turned to communications. "Open a channel to Earth Command, maximum encryption. Then prepare our sensor logs and medical findings for wide-spectrum broadcast. If the Vexari attack, I want every species in the galaxy to know exactly why they're willing to start a war with Earth." As the clock ticked down, Dr. Cheng worked frantically in the medical center, accelerating the treatment program. The Earth reinforcements were still 2 days away, too late if the Vexari decided to attack. In the crystal chamber that served as the Meridai Council room, Elder Lishev approached Maya. Despite her weakened condition, she moved with new purpose. "Commander, we may have a solution," she said. "Our harmonic technology. It was never meant for war, but it can be adapted. With your ship's power systems and our knowledge, we might create a defense." Maya listened as Lisha explained. The Meridai couldn't prevent the Vexari from attacking, but they could change the battlefield. Their harmonic technology could create a resonance field that would disrupt the targeting systems of the Vexari weapons, not enough to save the Horizon, but perhaps enough to protect the planet until help arrived. "It would require most of our remaining strength," Lishev admitted. "Many of our elders may not survive the effort. But we would do this willingly, to save our children, and to repay your courage." Maya shook her head. "There has to be another way." "Commander," Lish's 4 eyes fixed on Maya's, "you have already taught us that some principles are worth any sacrifice. Let us show you that we learned this lesson well." As the deadline approached, Maya made her decision. The Horizon would not withdraw, but neither would she allow the Meridai to sacrifice themselves. Instead, she offered an alternative, using the Horizon itself as a conduit for the harmonic field, amplifying it beyond what the weakened Meridai could generate alone. "It's risky," Lieutenant Commander Reeves warned. "We don't fully understand this technology." "Then we'd better learn fast," Maya replied. The hour expired. The Vexari warships powered weapons. On the surface, the Meridai elders gathered in a circle, channeling their harmonic energy through crystals connected to the Horizon's power core. The ship's hull began to vibrate, emitting frequencies beyond normal human hearing. The Vexari fired. Energy beams lanced toward the Horizon, only to bend and twist as they encountered the harmonic field. Some dissipated entirely, others struck, but with greatly reduced force. The Horizon shuddered but held. "It's working," Reeves exclaimed. "But our power systems can't handle this for long." Maya gripped her command chair. "They don't need to. We just need time." The Vexari commander appeared again on the view screen, his composure finally cracked. "What technology is this? You will surrender it immediately." "This technology belongs to the Merida," Maya answered. "The people you try to erase. And no, we will not surrender anything to genocidaires." The Vexeri ships adjusted formation, preparing for another assault. But before they could fire, space rippled behind them. Hyperspace windows tore open, and ships began to emerge, not just the promised Earth medical vessels, but an entire battle group led by the EDF Indomitable, Earth's newest dreadnought. Admiral Chen's voice filled the horizon's bridge. "Commander Santos, I see you've made some friends, and some enemies." "Just another day exploring the galaxy, Admiral," Maya replied, relief evident in her voice. "The Vexari are standing down," Reeds reported. "They're withdrawing to the system edge." But the confrontation wasn't over. Hours later, as Earth medical teams spread across Merida administering the cure, a formal delegation from the Galactic Council arrived. The council chairperson herself led the group, flanked by representatives from various species, including, notably, Ambassador Krex of the Vexari. They met in the crystal chamber, now glowing with renewed energy as the Meridae began to recover. Maya stood beside Elder Lisha Admiral Chen at her other side. "The council is disturbed by Earth's unilateral actions," the chairperson began. "Quarantine orders exist for a reason. The protocols were used to mask genocide." Maya interrupted. "We have conclusive evidence that the pathogen affecting the Meridae was engineered, specifically targeting their unique biology, and we know who's responsible." All eyes turned to Ambassador Krex, who remained impassive. Admiral Chen stepped forward. "Earth has transmitted this evidence to every member world of the Council. We've also shared the cure we developed, a cure that the Council deemed too expensive to pursue." "The Vexari Dominion categorically denies any involvement," Krex stated. "These accusations are baseless." Elder Lisha, still weak but standing tall, addressed the council. "When the sickness first came, the Vexari offered to buy our islands, all of them, for a fraction of their worth. When we refused, they said we would regret our decision. 3 days later, the first of our children fell ill." The chairperson's expression remained neutral, but her eyes betrayed concern. "Even if these allegations are true, the council operates on established protocols. The cost-benefit." "With respect, Chairperson," Admiral Chen interrupted, "Earth rejects the premise that the value of life can be calculated on a balance sheet. If the Council cannot reform its approach to humanitarian crisis, Earth will need to reconsider its membership." The threat hung in the air. Earth was new to the galactic stage, but they had already demonstrated technology that could challenge Vexari warships. More importantly, they had shown a willingness to act when the Council would not. "Perhaps," the chairperson said carefully, "this situation warrants further review. A special committee could be formed to investigate both the origins of the pathogen and the Council's response protocols." It wasn't justice, but it was a beginning. In the days that followed, the Meridae continued to recover. Their crystal cities began to glow again, their islands rising higher in the lavender skies. Earth established a permanent research outpost on Merida, officially to monitor the recovery, but in reality to ensure that no one would threaten the Meridae again. On the eve of the Horizon's departure, Elder Lisha presented Commander Maya with a crystal unlike any she had seen before, a perfect sphere that captured and reflected not just light, but emotion itself. "This is our highest creation," Lisha explained, "a memory crystal containing the collective experiences of our elders. We want your people to understand who you saved, and why that matters." Maya accepted the gift with reverence. "We'll make sure your story is heard." "You have done more than save us, Commander," Lisha said, her 4 eyes shimmering with renewed light. "You have changed the very nature of the conversation. For too long, the galaxy has calculated worth in resources and strategic advantage. You have reminded everyone that compassion is not a luxury. It is the foundation of true civilization." As the Horizon broke orbit, Maya stood on the observation deck, watching Merida recede in the distance. Admiral Chen joined her, his expression thoughtful. "You know this isn't over," he said. The Vexari will deny everything. The Council will resist change. We've made powerful enemies today. Maya nodded. Yes, but we've made more powerful friends. She gestured to the crystal in her hands, now pulsing with gentle light. And we've shown the galaxy who we are. And who is that, exactly? Chen asked. Maya smiled. The people who answer when others cry for help. The people who fight when others calculate. The people who believe that every voice, every culture, every life has value. She turned to face the stars ahead. We're humanity, and we're just getting started. The Reckoning. 6 months after the events on Merida, the crystal cities gleamed once more in the amber light of their sun. The floating islands had risen to their proper heights, gardens of light and sound flourishing across their surfaces. But the transformation went beyond mere recovery. New structures stood alongside the ancient ones, fusion reactors humming beside harmonic generators, Earth technology complementing Meridi art in ways neither species had imagined possible. Commander Maya Santos, now promoted to captain and permanent liaison to Merida, stood beside Elder Lisha on the highest observation platform of the Joint Research Center. Below them, humans and Meridi moved together through the sprawling complex, their collaborative work having yielded advances in medicine, physics, and communication that had stunned the scientific community. The Council delegation arrives tomorrow, Lisha noted, her opalescent skin now fully restored to its luminous state. They wish to see our progress. Maya nodded, her expression guarded. And to assess our partnership. Earth's actions here have unsettled certain factions. You mean the Vexari, Lisha said, a slight disharmony entering her melodic voice at the mention of those who had engineered their near extinction. Among others. Maya turned to face her friend. The investigation into the origins of the pathogen continues, but evidence keeps disappearing. Witnesses change their testimony. The Vexari have powerful allies in the Council. And yet you persist. We do. Maya smiled. Stubbornness is a human trait. Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent signal from Maya's communicator. Lieutenant Park, her security chief, appeared as a hologram above her wrist. Captain, long-range sensors have detected multiple vessels dropping out of hyperspace at the system edge. Configuration matches consortium privateers. Maya's expression hardened. The Vexari are using mercenaries now. Clever. Officially deniable. She turned to Lisha. How many citizens are currently in the outer islands? Nearly 1,000. Research teams, mostly, and their families. Get them to the central islands. Activate the harmonic shields. Maya tapped her communicator. Park, initiate Defense Protocol Alpha. And contact Earth Command. We may need reinforcements. Within hours, 12 privateer vessels had taken position around Merida's outer orbit. Unlike the military precision of the Vexari warships, these ships moved with predatory unpredictability. Heavily armed scavengers drawn by the promise of payment and plunder. On the bridge of the Earth defense vessel Defiant, the newly commissioned ship assigned to protect Merida, Maya assessed the tactical situation. The privateers outnumbered them, but the Defiant's technology was superior. The problem was protecting the scattered Meridi settlements, while maintaining a defensive position. They're hailing us, reported Communications Officer Dias. A scurred Catharan appeared on screen, his feline features twisted in what passed for a smile in his species. Earth vessel, this is Captain Mreeze of the Free Consortium. We have no quarrel with you. Our business is with the Meridi. The Meridi are under Earth's protection, Maya replied. Any action against them will be considered an act of war. Mreeze's whiskers twitched with amusement. Protection. How interesting. We have authorization from the Galactic Council to collect biological samples from this world for safety assessment. Stand aside, and no one need be harmed. Captain, he's lying, Dias whispered. The Council wouldn't authorize privateers for a scientific mission. I know, Maya muttered before addressing Mreeze again. Transmit your authorization codes. We'll verify them with the Council directly. The Catharan's fur bristled. There's no time for bureaucracy. We have our orders. From the Vexari Dominion, no doubt, Maya said, watching his reaction carefully. How much are they paying you to finish what their bioweapons started? Marie's eyes narrowed to slits. You have 1 hour to withdraw from Meridite orbit, Earth vessel. After that, we will proceed with our mission regardless of your position. The transmission cut. Maya turned to her tactical officer. Options. Lieutenant Commander Reeves, who had transferred with her from the horizon, studied the display. We can hold off maybe 3 of their ships, but not all 12. Not alone. And Earth reinforcements. 2 days at best, Captain. Maya nodded, having expected this answer. Then we need to change the equation. Contact Elder Lisha. I need access to their harmonic technology archives, specifically anything related to large-scale resonance fields. You're thinking of amplifying what we did against the Vexari warships? Reeves asked. Something like that, Maya replied. But this time, we're not just playing defense. In the crystal chambers beneath the Joint Research Center, Maya met with the Meridai Council and a team of Earth scientists. Holographic displays showed the privateers' positions alongside schematics of Meridai harmonic generators. Last time, we used your technology to disrupt their targeting systems, Maya explained. But we've learned a lot since then. Dr. Okafor believes we can take it further. The Earth physicist stepped forward. The Meridai harmonic generators work by manipulating fundamental forces at the quantum level. Combined with our fusion reactors, we could create a resonance cascade. Essentially, a wave that disrupts artificial electromagnetic fields. You want to disable their ships, Elder Lisha observed. Temporarily, Dr. Okafor clarified. The effect would last perhaps 10 minutes. Not long enough to defeat them, but long enough to change the battlefield. Maya finished. We don't need to destroy 12 ships. We just need to hold them off until help arrives. Elder Telva, the Meridai Defense Coordinator, raised a 6-fingered hand. Our harmonic array was designed for atmospheric conditions. Extending it to orbit would require enormous power. Which is why we'll use the Defiant as a conduit, Maya explained. We'll position it at the focal point between your 3 largest generators. The ship's fusion core will amplify the resonance wave and direct it toward the privateers. Captain, Reeves interjected, that would leave the Defiant vulnerable. If even one of their ships remains operational, that's a risk we'll have to take, Maya said firmly. The alternative is letting them land and collect samples from the Meridai population. The unspoken reality hung in the air. The privateers hadn't come for samples. They had come to eliminate witnesses, to ensure no Meridai survived to testify against the Vexari. Preparations began immediately. Meridai harmonic engineers worked alongside Earth technicians, modifying the Defiant systems to channel the resonance wave. On the surface, massive crystal arrays were aligned toward the sky, their normal luminescent patterns shifting to deep, pulsing blue. As the deadline approached, Maya returned to the Defiant. The bridge was tense, every officer aware of the gamble they were taking. If the resonance wave failed, if the privateers realized what they were attempting, the Defiant would be destroyed, and Merida would be defenseless. The privateers are moving into attack formation, Reeves reported. They'll be in weapons range in 3 minutes. Maya opened a channel to the surface. Elder Lisha, status of the harmonic arrays. Aligned and powered, Captain. We await your signal. Maya took a deep breath. On my mark, initiate the resonance cascade. All hands, brace for potential system disruptions. She paused, then added, whatever happens next, it has been my honor to serve with you. The privateers entered weapons range. Energy readings spiked as they prepared to fire. Mark, Maya commanded. On the surface of Merida, the crystal arrays pulsed in perfect synchronization. Energy surged through the modified conduits of the Defiant, the ship shuddering as power levels climbed beyond safety parameters. From the hull, waves of blue-white energy began to emanate, invisible except where they distorted the starlight. The effect on the privateers was immediate. Ships listed in space as control systems failed. Weapons powered down mid-charge. Communication signals dissolved into static. "It's working," Reeves exclaimed. "Their systems are going offline." But the victory was short-lived. The Defiant's own systems began to fluctuate, the resonance cascade proving harder to control than anticipated. "Power surge in the main conduits," reported Lieutenant Commander Chen, the chief engineer. "The harmonic wave is feeding back into our systems. We've got 3 minutes before critical failure." Maya gripped her command chair. "Divert all non-essential power to shields. Prepare for evasive maneuvers once the privateers recover." She opened a channel to Merida. "Elder Lisha, we need to shut down the harmonic arrays. The feedback is destabilizing our systems." "Understood, Captain." Initiating shutdown sequence. As the harmonic energy receded, the Defiant systems began to stabilize, but the effect on the privateers was already wearing off. 3 ships had managed to restart their engines and were moving into position. "They're targeting our propulsion systems," Reeves warned. "They want to cripple us, not destroy us." "Evasive pattern Delta," Maya ordered. "Focus shield power on the engines." The Defiant banked sharply, avoiding the first volley of energy weapons. But with 9 more ships coming back online, the mathematics of survival grew increasingly dire. "Captain, we have an incoming transmission," Diaz reported. It's on all frequencies, overriding our encryption." "Put it through," Maya said, expecting to hear Mriza's triumphant ultimatum. Instead, a familiar voice filled the bridge. "This is Admiral Chen of the Earth Defense Fleet to all vessels in the Merida system. Stand down immediately or face the consequences of your actions." On the tactical display, hyperspace windows began to appear, dozens of them, surrounding the privateer's position. Earth vessels emerged, not just warships but also medical ships, research vessels, even civilian transports retrofitted with shield generators. And they weren't alone. Ships of various configurations joined the formation. Some Ashari, others bearing the markings of the Lyradian Alliance, and 3 other species who had traditionally remained neutral in council affairs. "What is this?" Maya whispered. Admiral Chen's face appeared on the view screen. "Sorry for the delay, Captain. Coordinating a multi-species response takes time, especially when half of them aren't officially supposed to be here." "Admiral, these privateers are working for the Vexari, yes. We know. That's why I brought friends." Chen's expression grew serious. "The evidence you've collected on Merida has been causing quite a stir. Not everyone in the Council is comfortable with genocide being hidden behind quarantine orders." On the main view screen, the privateers scattered, attempting to flee the overwhelming force now surrounding them. Most were captured by tractor beams. A few managed to jump to hyperspace, but not before their identification signatures were recorded. Hours later, in the Grand Crystal Chamber of the Meridi Council, Maya sat beside Admiral Chen as representatives from 7 species discussed the implications of the day's events. Elder Lisha presided, her 4 eyes moving thoughtfully from speaker to speaker. "The Vexari will deny involvement," said Ambassador Tella of the Ashari. "They always do. But this time, the evidence is too substantial to ignore." "Evidence means nothing without enforcement," countered Captain Nerl of the Lyradian Alliance. "The Council has been compromised by Vexari influence for decades. They will find a way to bury this." Admiral Chen leaned forward. "Then we go around the Council. The coalition represented in this room accounts for nearly 40% of galactic trade. If we stand together, establish our own humanitarian protocols." "You speak of fracturing the Council," Tila observed. "That could lead to conflict on a scale not seen in millennia." "Perhaps the Council needs fracturing," Maya suggested quietly. All eyes turned to her. For too long, species like the Meridi have been valued only for what they can provide in resources or strategic advantage. The Vexari weaponized that coldness. They didn't create the system. They simply exploited it. Elder Lish's melodic voice rose above the murmurs that followed. What the humans did for us was not extraordinary by their standards. They helped because they could, because they should. This principle, so foreign to council thinking, is the foundation of their civilization. She gestured to the coalition representatives, and it appears to resonate with many of you as well, despite your official policies. In the silence that followed, Admiral Chen stood. Earth doesn't want to fracture the galaxy, but neither will we stand by while genocide is conducted under the guise of cost-benefit analysis. We propose a new protocol, one that establishes the right of any spacefaring species to render humanitarian aid regardless of Council quarantine orders. The Vexari and their allies will never agree to this, Captain Nerl warned. Then they will find themselves increasingly isolated, Chen replied, both diplomatically and economically. The negotiations continued through the night and into the following days. When the Council delegation finally arrived, they found not a single Earth outpost, but the beginnings of a coalition united around principles that challenged the very foundation of Council authority. The chairperson, visibly unsettled by the unexpected alliance, attempted to reassert control. These unauthorized gatherings, these private agreements between member species, violate Council protocols. With respect, Chairperson, Admiral Chen responded, the attempted genocide of the Meridae violated something far more fundamental than protocols. It violated the principles that should unite all sentient beings. The Council has existed for 12,000 years. The chairperson reminded them. It has maintained peace across the galaxy through adherence to established order. Peace for whom? Maya asked. The Meridae would have vanished from the galaxy without a sound. How many others have disappeared because saving them wasn't deemed cost-effective? The debate extended for days, broadcast across the galaxy on channels normally reserved for Council pronouncements. Species that had never questioned the cost-benefit calculations that determined their value began to speak out. Evidence of other containment actions emerged from archived records. Patterns that, once recognized, could not be unseen. In the end, the Council could not ignore the groundswell of support for what was being called the Meridae Protocol. A special session was convened, with the Vexari notably absent, to formalize new guidelines for humanitarian intervention. It wasn't a complete victory. The Council remained committed to its fundamental approach of calculating value and resources and strategic advantage. But a crack had appeared in the edifice of galactic indifference, a small space where compassion could take root. 1 year after the first human ships arrived at Merida, Captain Maya Santos stood once more on the observation platform of the now expanded Joint Research Center. Beside her, Elder Lisha and Admiral Chen watched as ships from a dozen species moved in and out of Meridae orbit, part of the new coalition for mutual protection and cultural exchange. The Vexari have withdrawn their diplomats from 3 more systems, Chen reported. Their economic isolation grows. And yet they still deny everything. Maya noted. Of course they do. Chen smiled grimly. But denial only works when others are willing to pretend along with you. That willingness is diminishing. Lisha turned her 4 eyes toward the horizon, where new crystal cities rose alongside research facilities and defense installations. My ancestors believed that beauty was the ultimate purpose of existence. That too,